Picture this. You're thinking about downsizing, or maybe you just made the leap. You can already imagine the freedom, right? Less to clean, less to worry about, and more room for what matters. But within a week, you are surrounded by boxes. Your favorite armchair doesn't fit, and you can't find space for the things that actually matters to you. Suddenly, you start asking yourself, did I make a huge mistake? Unfortunately, this is the reality of most people who downsized without a plan. What should feel like a fresh start becomes a source of regret and frustration. But here's the good news. If you follow these 5 simple rules, you can downsize with confidence and hopefully avoid regrets. Hi everyone, I'm Lorenzo, your Italian architect and founder of Centioni Architects. I help people like you transforming their spaces into something that's not just functional, but also truly loved. Downsizing is one of the biggest challenges you'll ever face in your life. And personally, I think it's not discussed enough. So in today's video, I'm sharing these 5 essential rules that hopefully will save you from regret. Ready? Let's dive in. Rule number 1. Keep the future, not the past. Let's start with the hardest part. Most people look at their belongings and ask, what do I want to keep? Instead, you should probably ask yourself, what is it going to serve me in the next chapter of my life? If you're retired or approaching retirement, your priorities are probably different now. Do you actually need 3 sets of dinnerware for 12 people? Or would it be better to actually keep 1 set that you'll probably use? Think about your future needs: mobility, comfort, hobbies. Downsizing isn't about losing memories. It's about keeping those memories that move with you without weighing you down. Rule 2. Measure twice, move once. One of the biggest regrets of downsizing that I've heard so far is that, hey, I bought new furniture, but it doesn't quite fit. The good news is that avoiding this mistake is actually quite simple. Before you move, measure everything, both in your old house and in the new one. The rooms, the doors, the hallways, and everything in between. Downsizing isn't about square footage, it's about the right proportions. And the best part is that you don't need to be an architect to measure like a pro. You actually have 3 easy tools at your disposal. A tape measure, the classic and still the most reliable. Use it for door widths, hallways, and furniture dimensions. Your phone's measure up. Almost every smartphone, like the iPhone for example, has a built-in measuring tool that uses the camera and most likely the LiDAR scan. Perfect for quick checks when you don't have a tape on hand. Or you can go even more pro and use a laser measure. Small, affordable, and extremely accurate. You just point it at a wall and it gives you the exact distance in a matter of a fraction of a second. It's great for larger rooms or when you're working alone. Take those measurements and note them down or even sketch them down, even on a piece of paper or your iPad or your phone or whatever. Then compare them with the new furniture that you want to buy. Does it fit? Does it not fit? It's easy, isn't it? A slimmer dining table or a smaller sofa might actually be the answer to this problem. I think a little measurement now, spending maybe 1 or 2 minutes, can actually save you the heartbreak later on of, knowing that you spend money buying something that doesn't actually look right. Rule 3. Storage first, square footage second. When people search for small homes, the very first question is, how many square feet is it? But here's the thing, square footage by itself doesn't really tell you how livable the house will be. A 700 square foot apartment with smart built-in storage can actually feel twice as spacious as a 1,000 square foot home with none. That's because what makes you feel cramped isn't the size of the walls, it's the clutter that piles up inside them. So instead of focusing only on the square footage number, consider the quality and quantity of the storage of your new small home. Here's what to look for. Hidden storage like underbed drawers, ottomans that open up, benches with compartments. These pieces give you space without stealing floor area. Vertical storage is another important one. Tall shelf units, floor-to-ceiling bookcases, even wall-mounted cabinets. When you use your walls, you free up precious floor space. I don't need to repeat this in every video I make, but you know how much I love the IKEA Norden or similar gate leg tables. They're really valuable for small homes. Here's my, let's call it, pro tip. When you're viewing a potential new small home, open every door, open every closet, and try to understand if that storage will be enough for what you need. Imagine where your vacuum cleaner will go or where you'll store your winter clothes. These are very important things to do to save you a lot of stress later on. Good storage is not an optional extra. It's what actually makes the difference between living in a house that you love and one that you feel a bit cramped and tight. Actually, stay tuned on this channel because I'm thinking about a video on this specific topic, which I think will be quite valuable for people that is thinking to buy or already lives in small homes. Rule number 4, declutter in layers, not all at once. One of the worst mistakes I've seen is when people, including myself, are trying to declutter everything in one single moment. Let's say, for example, you've got a weekend and you're like, this weekend I need to get rid of everything. Well, that's not the right way. Downsizing is not just a physical event, it's also a bit emotional, I think. Every item carries a story, a memory, and potentially a sense of identity. If you rush this process, usually one of these two things happen. Either you keep too much and bring the clutter with you, I've done that, or you throw away things that you might regret later on. I've done that too. The solution is to declutter in layers, giving yourself time and space to make thoughtful decisions. Here's how I will do it. First round, the easy wins. Start with the obvious items you never use. The broken appliances, duplicate kitchen gadgets, stack of magazines from 10 years ago. This round builds momentum and makes the process feel more achievable. The second round is the thoughtful edits. You can think about your new home. What will realistically fit? Will the giant china cabinet overwhelm a small dining room? Does your extra set of armchairs have a place, or will they block walkways? At this stage, compare your belongings against the scale and storage of your future space. The third round is the reality check. This is when you let go of items that didn't find a natural place in your daily life. By approaching decluttering in layers, you give yourself permission to adjust slightly as you go. It takes the pressure off and protects you from mistakes that you might do. Instead of regret, you feel a sense of progress. Step by step, box by box, your home transforms into a space that supports the life you want to live now. Rule 5. Personalization is a non-negotiable. This one is essential. A lot of people downsize so aggressively that they actually strip away the soul of the home. Downsizing should never feel like a punishment, it should feel like a liberation. The key thing is personalization. Your smaller homes must feel like yours. That means keeping the colors, corners, and objects that define your own story. If a certain armchair is where you always read to your grandkids, make space for it. If you love cooking, prioritize a kitchen layout that supports that joy. If family photos brings you peace, then display them intentionally on a gallery wall instead of hiding them in boxes. Personalization also means adapting your new space to your lifestyle. Downsizing is not about stripping life to the bare minimum. It's about designing a home that is easier to be managed. Remember that comfort is not about square footage. It comes from the feeling that when you walk through that door, you know you're home. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hopefully, if you apply these 5 rules, downsizing won't feel like a burden for you, but a fresh new start. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Have you ever thought about downsizing? And if so, what's holding you back? Or maybe are you just excited about it? If you found this video helpful, share it with a friend or maybe a family member who's considering downsizing. You never know, but it might save them from regret. And of course, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. I post videos every week to make sure that your home feels more like yourself. If you'd like my help designing your home, reach me out. I'll leave all the links in the description below. And before I go, just check my other videos about downsizing. Until the next one, ciao.